Hi.
Hey, sorry.
Sorry. Okay. So like I said, last we talked, we were talking about from 0 to 10, you kind of felt like, you were kind of like the normal kids.
Yeah.
Everything was kind of going to plan until you reached puberty, 13, 14, and you started to realize that you felt a bit different, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then how did you feel a bit different?
Um, in the, I think in the way that I was thinking about certain things and the way that I was perceiving certain things, especially when it came to the whole um, boy girl difference, do you know? In terms of what we've already addressed, like your chores, your questions, those kind of things. Yeah,
Okay.
my interest.
So
Yeah,
you kind of felt like you wanted to be in the garden, you said, instead of
yeah,
being in the kitchen.
yeah. I didn't understand the difference between the garden and the kitchen and why there had to be a difference. So my whole thing was I can do both, or I can do the other as opposed to the other kind of thing.
Yeah. And then so then from 13, so from puberty until you got older, when did you kind of realize that sexually you were attracted to the same sex?
Please repeat your question.
Saying, so after 13,
Yeah.
did you then realize that you were attracted to
Oh,
the yeah.
oh. I think when I give me 5 seconds. There we go. Um, I was just closing the door so I can hear you properly. Um, so when I started realizing was I think when I started opening myself up to the idea of me potentially being attracted to this gym. Yeah. Yeah, I think when I was opening myself up to the idea and I had to bring myself to the center of it's a thing. It's how you're feeling. Feel it, you know? Go through it.
So what was it that you felt, and when was it that you felt it? That you kind of felt as though, you know what, like what am I feeling firstly, and how to act?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I warned you and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
still. Is it okay? No, it's not. I don't like it.
as long
But
as yeah.
yeah, as long as I'm not being snatched in the street. Please repeat your question. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. So I'm saying, what did you actually feel, and when did you actually then started? When did you actually feel what you felt, and decided to then act upon it?
Okay. Uh yo. You want to reveal that these people are cute. What? These people are cute. And I felt mini crushes here and there, like stalking particular humans, um, picturing certain events happening with this particular human, picturing certain scenarios happening with this particular human, basically developing a crush. And so me acting upon it was me showing it, because I couldn't really say, hey, Zandile, listen, this is how I feel. But it would be me showing it, you know. And I think, I don't know if I can say I was lucky or anything of that sort, but with my first crush, um, she was also queer. So she gave me vibes. And I then acted on those vibes and gave off the same vibes, you know. So that was how I acted upon my first crush. Yeah.
Okay. So how old were you when that happened?
I was 16,
16.
very much 16. Yeah.
Okay. And how did everything else around you kind of change when you guys started dating and being obviously a woman and a woman? How did it change perceptions from other people looking inwards?
From other people looking inward. Uh, Firstly, I felt real. I felt like I was a human being. You know, I stopped feeling like a mannequin because there was a point where I think I felt like a mannequin because I felt like everyone around me was living, you know, and I wasn't because I'm trying to figure out myself and these weird things that I'm thinking, these weird things that I feel. So now when I was in that zone, when I was in that relationship, I I started to feel real, you know? I started to feel like I'm living, you know? Because then I could actually feel. And I felt that what I was feeling was real. Um, yeah. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So that's actually very interesting that you say that like you actually felt in a normal world that you weren't normal. And then when you kind of dated someone that was of the same sex, which was something that was perceived to be weird, you actually then
Mhm.
felt in place. You felt as though it was something that you needed to do. So you kind of needed to step out from everyone else's perspective and step into your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
that's
I
pretty.
felt like the life before me being able to explore my feelings and explore that relationship, I was I was living in someone else's world, man. Like, yeah, I'm alive in Yapila. We're going about life. We're schooling. We're doing this. We're doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm just, I'm just walking. I'm just a walking mannequin, like I said, you know. And
Yeah.
then when I was able to do that, I was like, ooh, I feel like a person,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah,
I think that that's a very powerful lesson in general, not just not just with what you're saying with regards to sexuality. I think it's a very powerful lesson in the sense that there are world norms and societal norms and
yeah,
family norms that you get born into or you see
yeah,
and you want to be part of it because obviously no one wants to be a part of everything.
yeah,
And then you find it's not really what I want to do. This is not really what I want to. It's not really who I am. And then when you
yeah,
step out of that realm, then you actually kind of find yourself. So you kind of find what you want, where you at least want to look.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's what pushes people to come out.
Mm.
That's the main thing that pushes people to come out because you it allows you, man. You feel real because now you're not trying to fit into anything anymore because whatever you're trying to fit into, you don't feel you don't feel yourself. You don't feel alive. You're not living your true self. You know when people say, I came out to my true self, that is a real thing, guys.
Yeah.
You don't feel, and speaking of on behalf of myself and um people that I know of that are queer and friends and acquaintances, queer friends and acquaintances, you really don't. Then that desire to feel real, that desire to belong, you know, um, that desire to live, you know, um, then pushes you to come out to
So the
yourself.
yeah. So
Yeah.
the desire to want to have a purpose is more than the desire or it's more than the fear.
Yes.
So
Yeah. No.
fear either allows you or defeats you. So in that sense, you just let it drive you instead of defeating you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because all that the fear does is suppress the real you.
Yeah,
Um, Fear literally puts its knee on your neck.
yeah.
Um, yeah, then
Is that a George Floyd reference?
yeah.
Wow, okay. All right. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool, man. That's yeah, like I said, even with that just there from you finding that it's not just a it's not just a teaching of coming out as a person.
Mm.
It's the teaching of life in general that, you know,
Mm.
I can like something that other people don't like, but then it's like, well, I don't want to like it because of them. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I'm living for myself. So, okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, so moving on, how did that then, I want to get the family last, right? How that
Okay.
integrated with family. You obviously know there's a lot of questions that people still have about the LGBTQ community,
Mm-hmm.
um, and things like that. Do you think that some of the questions are valid? The ones that you've actually heard?
uh, Questions about the community.
Yeah.
Hey, Betuna, I feel like every question that I have heard is valid, yes, because it's they stem from a place of um not
Not,
knowing. Yeah, they stem from a place of not knowing and therefore wanting to know. So every question that I've heard of, I feel is valid, yeah, because I don't think a person back on and Yanabantu don't ask out of spite. And I mean, you can pick that up, and then that is obviously something that you can choose to ignore. But most of the questions that I've heard, yeah, are valid.
do you think that there is a very high sensitivity with this topic as opposed to any other topic?
Yes.
Why is
Yeah.
that?
Um, we are sensitive human beings. Um, and we are sensitive because um, we exist in a place where we are not allowed to exist. We exist in a place where we are an abomination. We exist in a place where we're not supposed to be existing in. Um, Consequently, we are very sensitive. So, yeah, this topic is sensitive because um, I think it's also in the way um, the different perceptions around the whole um, gay thing. Uh, yeah, so everything regarding the whole umbrella is sensitive.
Okay. Do you think that then your sensitivity is justified?
Yes.
Okay. So why I'm asking is that if you think, for example, say the LGBTQ community is very sensitive, right?
Mhm.
What makes you then more sensitive than someone else's community that is sensitive?
How I don't think we're more sensitive than anyone else. Also, because I don't think it's fair to um um I don't think it's fair to like put us on a ground or in the same I'm not saying you did, but putting us in a category of in a category with another community or on the same floor as another community. I think it's fair if we are allowed to solely exist, you know, as an individual community. So I don't think it's fair to. are you more important? What makes you more sensitive than another community? No, let another community exist on their own, and let us exist on our own. You know, we are already we already feel like we're our own world. We're a community on our own. We're separate from everyone else. So I don't think it would be fair to be like what makes us more sensitive than another community. No, we're a community and we're sensitive. Period.
Okay, I understand. Well put. So do you think that the fact that it is a community then brings about certain issues? So, for example, like heterosexual people don't say they are a community. They just say, "Man, I'm dating this person. And that's that," you know. And then it's like when people attack heterosexual people or they try to, you don't feel it's personalized because it's like, man, you're just talking to someone else. You're not talking to me because I'm not part of any community. I'm part of myself. So then
Mm-hmm.
you find you try to make communities to kind of make each other feel as though we're all welcome, right? Then it's easier to attack. And then if you attack the community, it's easier to then offend everyone in it, you know? So it's similar to like, again, it's similar to when you make, say, like a black community and you call it a black community. Now you find that if you attack it, anyone that's part of it might feel some sort of way. Or if you have a, you know, a male community, if you attack it, everyone feels a certain type of way. Even though maybe you're not attacking every single person there, but if you say that you're attacking the community, therefore
Like men are trash.
yeah, like men are trash, exactly. Then it's like, well, I feel like I'm a man. Am I trash? Then I have to respond because it's like, well, I feel attacked. But if I didn't associate myself with the community and associated myself as being myself or as a human, then you find that, yeah, whatever, like I can kind of just move on. So, yeah, so my question then is, do you think that the fact that it's like, again, being part of a family, being part of a community brings some sort of togetherness, but at the same time, it then kind of almost amplifies everyone's sensitivity because then if one person's attacked, then we all feel like we're all attacked. But maybe that person's attacked just because they're that person. But if you put yourself within that group with that person, then you feel the need to respond, even though it's not your story, or if the attack is not aimed at you. But then you find then if I talk to someone else that's bisexual and I attack them, and then you then respond to what I'm saying, then someone else is going to respond to what you're saying, and then it's going to be a back and forth fight the whole time. And then you find out it was just between me and him, or me and her.
Okay. Mine is going to be really simple, and my take is just going to be really simple. We have this particular family because of the obvious. Hey,
Because
I'm
of
saying
what?
the obvious, right? We
Okay.
are wrong. You know, like I've already explained, we have this family because of that. So now, this is our home. This is our only place to run to. These are the only people that we know for a fact have our backs. So we run to that community. We run to that family. We don't have anywhere to go. So we protect each and every single individual in the family by all means, whether it's direct or it's not direct. And it's a touch one, touch all situation because we only have ourselves. Um, yeah, we only have ourselves.
Yeah.
So if I can't protect the one person in the family, I'm gonna allow, if I fail to protect that one person in the family, I'm going to allow a door for many other family members to be touched. And we can't have that. We can't have that. We I think they have come a long way, and they have fought a great battle to create this family for us to be able to come and run to it. So can't just let ulungelo come and, wanna attack one person from our family, because it's gonna allow a door for many others to be attacked, and then what? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So it really doesn't matter. We really don't care whether you're attacking ulungelo because of your own personal vendetta or whatever. We really don't care. Just as long as you're attacking ulungelo, I'm going to come.
So,
You are
okay.
definitely going to protect him.
So I understand what you're saying, and I like the fact that we're going at this like in different angles, but at the same time, I'm saying we're not fighting each other. We're fighting the topic, and we're trying to find the best solutions for all these things. And
Yeah.
I totally what you're saying in the sense that if you're alone and you see an injustice, right? You try to correct that injustice, and you kind of build up an army to then kind of fight whatever army is against you or is against what you believe in until you can then create change, right? So I understand it in that sense, right? My question is kind of almost of the same bracket in the sense of like you see how a lot of things happen, right? Where again, like I was saying to this other girl, where you can divide yourself in so many things. You can divide yourself into so many individual ideologies, right? Whereas you can be a black female from either a suburb, middle age, student, right? Those are 5 categories that you can then be part of and you can fight for, right? So, for instance, if there's a fees must fall, you're there,
Yes.
right? Yeah, if there is a youth thing that we have to fight for, you're there. If there's a female kind of abuse thing, you're there. You know, if there's a black woman's or black people's thing, you're there, right? But now what happens is in just one community where you're fighting against, say you're fighting for what is it called? For schools, right? So if you're fighting and you're fighting for fees must fall, right? You find that in this whole group that you formed, you want to go and you fight the university, right? And then after you're fighting university until something happens, until someone in your same group of students calls another man queer or gay, right? And you find that, hey, that's not acceptable, bro. You're not supposed to say stuff like that, right? And then you find that then within that group, the LGBTQ community kind of breaks off, and then the other rest of the group stays there. And then it's these 2 groups, right? Or these two fighting this group against the school, right? And then within this group as well, it can kind of fragment as well, where it's like, okay, well, now it's someone then a guy touches a girl in an appropriate way, right?
Yeah.
And then that group fragments, and then it's males versus females, right? The same thing happens within a transgender male or female when his pronouns or her pronouns to be used in the right frame, and then you find that the rest of the community is like, I'm not cool with that, and then they break off, and then you break off, and then you find like from one community that we thought we kind of sat and had something to deal with, we've just fragmented so much that then you actually fragment someone so much that you become one person and you become an individual. And then you lose everything. You lose the fight. You don't know what's going on and why we're fighting, who's fighting, where. It's kind of almost like a gang kind of mentality where you find that gangs are formed and no one knows why we're fighting. Like, man, where did this whole thing start? But now everyone then takes it personally.